This morning on In Depth Today, we're going to take a closer look at this looming government shutdown and how you may be impacted.
Congress has just 2 days left to reach a deal. So what if it happens? NBC's Vicky Nguyen is here to break it all down. So we know right away, Vicky, that this is going to affect government employees. Who will be impacted on the first level?
Yeah, Hoda, if lawmakers don't reach a decision, if they can't pass these 12 appropriation bills and get our government funded, 12:01 Sunday morning, the government shuts down. That means roughly 2 million federal workers will be put on furlough. They'll be asked to stay home from work without pay. Dr. Nick Economides from New York University basically told us, look at these various programs here on your screen, right? You've got military personnel, not the essential ones. Food assistance programs could also be at risk. We're talking about millions of mothers and children who won't have access to really important needs there. And then national parks, it's to be determined. We don't know right now if they're going to shut those down or if states will chip in and be able to keep some of them open like they did back in 2018. The other thing I want you to look at is all of the departments that are affected by this shutdown that will likely be on skeleton crews. You have the Department of Transportation, Education, Health and Human Services, Housing and Urban Development. These are all agencies where you'll see limited to no services at all. And think about this. You're working, in some cases, the 1.2 million active duty military, they're still going to have to come into work. The air traffic controllers, other people considered essential, and no paycheck. But guess what? They still have to pay their bills, their mortgages, their rent, food, and gas. You know who does still get paid throughout all this? Lawmakers.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because in contrast to other shutdowns that we've unfortunately had to go through, in this case, the military personnel are not going to be paid.
Correct. There's no carve out.
No. So some of them will still have to work, but they will not be paid. And many people, not just military, but many people live paycheck to paycheck.
Absolutely.
So this is
Single
really going to
parents as
affect
well.
real people, including those who are protecting our country. It's not just government employees, though, because there's a ripple effect.
Yeah. Let's start with home buyers right now, Savannah. What if you're in the market for a home and you want to get a federally backed mortgage from the FHA, the Federal Housing Administration? Zillow experts are saying up to 2,500 applications a day will face delays or not be processed at all, because who's answering the phones? Who's working on those loan applications? No one if the government shuts down. Then think about the 33 million small businesses in this country that rely on one way or another on the SBA, the Small Business Administration, for loans, grants, services. If no one's returning your emails, you're missing out. Goldman Sachs did this survey. 70% of businesses say they think they'll be negatively impacted. 93% say they're going to lose revenue if the government shuts down. Now, if you have a student loan, no problems there. You'll continue to pay your student loan payments. But if you want to make any changes to that loan, you may not be able to get any help.
All right. So a lot of people are traveling, coming up with the holidays and the rest of it. It'll affect travelers, too. Is that right?
Yes. So the government line is, look, TSA, they are essential workers. These officers will be there at the airport. Well, what happened in December of 2018 when we had a government shutdown for 34 days? High rates of absenteeism, long lines at TSA. People were calling in sick. There was low morale. People didn't want to show up to work and not get paid. They weren't jazzed about that. So if you are traveling, anticipate that. And also passports. It's been such a headache trying to get passports renewed or new passports because of the surge in travel demands. Now you add on a skeleton crew at the passport offices. You'll be waiting a long time for that passport.
It's also frustrating to watch this go on because there's a cost to even coming to the brink like this. There's a cost to the economy. And God forbid the government shut down for weeks and weeks and weeks. It could tip the economy into recession. It hurts everybody. It's hard to understand how it is that we keep finding ourselves in this position.
I could not agree with you more, and it's very frustrating. If you're one of the people whose paychecks is affected, and we talked to some experts about what you can do if you are in this position right now, 2 days to go. First, take stock of what you have. Look at your bank accounts. What's in the emergency fund? Do you have any secondary sources of income? Anyone you could turn to help? Also, talk to your landlord. Talk to your bill providers. Can they give you a break? Could you delay or separate your payments into different installments without having to pay a penalty? It is always worth asking. And if you're in a position to help, donate to your food banks, because we know in a dire time like this, people will need those community resources.
They will. Food assistance is one of the things that will be stopped. Vicky, thank you.
Thank you, Vic.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.